Hello and welcome to Farm Sim from Maypole Farm. The extended edition, and extended, well, those of you who know Maypole will know that immediately you can see a difference. Some of the fields are bigger as we're driving around. The extended is in part of the size of the play area is extended. For example, carrying on straight down this road, which we're not going to do, would take you to the extended area. The fields to our right here are no longer, what was it, 3 fields that was originally there, is now one big field. The same with all of these fields that are ahead of us. There was multiple small fields. So basically a lot of fields have been joined together, hedges removed, a lot of trees have been removed, forestry areas have been designated forestry areas, purchasable. The field that was directly ahead of us is no more. As you can see, nice big forestry area, and I keep pressing M to go to the map, but this used to be the play area and it's been extended. It hasn't been extended by a lot, but you've got the pig zone up here and you've got a new sell point just here, and then you've got a few extra fields. But all these used to be a lot more fields. There used to be 63 fields, and now we're down to what, 45? Yeah, 45 fields, and when you start you own this field and this field. But I sold these because, well, I'm going with grass, and the reason being is eventually I'm going to do hay bales, and I'm going to start breeding, selling and producing wool from the sheep over here. So I've kept the John Deere tractor, which will be stationed here to move pallets around and feed the sheep, and that will be its primary objective, is the sheep. The other tractor, the one I'm using right now, will be kept on this farm, which will be to mow, bale, and then ship down any and all bales that I have. But I won't be doing just hay bales. I'll be doing not straw. Definitely won't be doing straw. I haven't got a combine or any arable land. The silage bales, which will then be sold in the, I believe winter is the best time to sell those. Let's see. And while I forgot I'm actually live here. It's not a private stream, so I should be opening now up. It's up there, isn't it? Not down here. Yeah. So second day of winter. I'm on a 3-day season. So second day of winter will be the best day to sell silage bales. So if I can get silage bales done by winter, they should be fermented and ready to sell. So if I do get 3 cuts in this year, then the last cut will be hay. The first cut will be silage, and the second cut will then be hay again. But the only actual grain that we're going to sell was sunflower for now, because all the others, although we could sell it, we want to get the best possible price. And I don't know how many years it will be before we end up going down the road where we can afford sheep and gain them going. But on a 3-day season with minimal equipment, we should be okay. And I mean, we can do some missions if we want, but I don't think we'll need to. So we'll put this trailer away, and anyone who's noticed will know that I'm not on a steering wheel. I didn't like the G29, so I got rid of it, and when I find a G27 I will pick it up and be back to that. So equipment wise, it's all just to do with bales basically. We have obviously the two starting tractors, the JD and the Case, the mod Marshall. And, I used to love it in FS17. It used to be the go-to trailer that I'd always have. A loading trailer with auto load feature on it. We kept the sprayer or fertilizer spreader, the Class front and rear mower, the Coon rake, the Class baler, round baler with auto wraps as well, and obviously the front loader equipment, and then all of our placeables, which we could sell for money if we wanted. I mean, ideally we don't need these water stations, for example, because we've got the animal mod in, but we'll leave it in. And I don't believe we've got any grass ready just yet. No, it's still growing. So we will be fast forwarding time. So we'll park our tractor back up and turn it off. Be a good thing to do. And what we'll do is we'll jump over to here, and it's been a while since I played this game, so you'll have to bear with me. The pig zone with its sheds and bale storage area and its own little silo for you to come in here and put corn in, and a gate that will open, but you can't actually get in there because they're outside of the play area and where you can purchase your pigs from. Obviously slurry manure over there, and then because I've got the, I think it's the animal extension mod that puts this in, so we could theoretically just set this up right now and put that one there, I think, and done. So if we do get pigs one day, we can just run over to here and then press R and it will automatically fill our trough up, and then whenever it's running low we just do that, and we've got plenty of storage for any equipment that we want to keep down here, not just because it works on this farm but because it works on fields nearby. So we could have a second harvester here for work on this end of the map. And it's definitely not M to open up the map. This is not Hunter Call of the Wild. And the map was expanded this way a little bit just so we could incorporate this field and the forestry area a bit more. But as you can see, all the plots, you'll easily make your money back in that forestry area off there. You can no longer buy plots that are like buyable, not placeable, they're sell points. And some plots are multiple, so these are all forestry areas, but you'd easily again make your money back. Another forestry area there, another one there, that one there, and you can't buy down here because again, and your log point is now over here, so you know that it's been made so just say, because this used to be a field, and well, not anymore. But you can take advantage of a lot more stuff now. And it means that you can use your bigger equipment around the map. But what was it that? No, that is not how you... Was it that one? That's the button. I did say it's been a while since I last played, but we're going to fast forward to there. Let it synchronise back up. You shouldn't do this, by the way, but we are. And then let resync back up, and we don't need to spray the fields. We don't need to do anything to our grass fields. We bought, well, grass field, we bought it as is. In fact, we can't afford the other one just yet, can we? Unfortunately, no. We could sell one of our tractors and have at least a tractor. I mean, we could sell the JD because we don't really need it just yet. In fact, that's probably what I should do, isn't it? And buy this field. Because it'll give us more. And we could have planted grass on these two fields, but we needed to do a bit more to them. We needed to lime them, plough them, then seed them and fertilise them as well as. So rather than convert them to grass fields, I left them as arable, sold them, and bought this field. But I'm thinking we should get rid of the JD and buy this. Or we could take out a loan and keep the JD and get started with sheep as soon as we got some hay bales. That's an option. Should we do that? Because we don't need much money. We took that mission. It's not going to pay too much, but it's a bit. And then if we buy not enough money, 107,000. How much money do we have then? Oh, okay. We need a bit more then. There we go. Right. Stay on that screen, it would help. And then buy that field. Now we could also go and plough up the cow pasture and then reseed it as a grass field. So we've got 3 potential places to farm, or well, to mow. That field does need anything. It's going to be a bad year for anything on there, but what we will do is, because we've released that equipment, haven't we? We'll go and cultivate that field. What was it, Alt F for the weather forecast? No. That's Alt G, no. Alt X. What was it for weather? Alt W? I can't remember what button it was for the weather, but oh, we've lost our there we go. Do we go wait? We don't go wait. Okay. Where are we going? What field have we got to go to? 9. Oh, that one. One of the new fields. Lovely. Okay. Well, you get to see one of the new fields then. And an area that it's been extended by. Now there is no traffic on this map. There never will be. I don't deal with the traffic, and to be honest, getting big equipment around here can be challenging at times, but getting big equipment with traffic on here would be a nightmare. Definitely be challenging. Definitely keep you going. Now, of course, I could use courseplay to do the cultivating up here, but I'm not going to. Don't worry. I'm going to be good. I'm going to the habit of using courseplay for practically everything that I can, field work wise anyway. The only thing I tend to do manually is moving equipment around and setting of anything, or used to anyway. So we would have been coming to the end of the play area around about now-ish, give or take, but now it carries on just a little bit further. This is definitely a big field. Oh well. Good job we got a big old cultivator to work with. And just to keep you preoccupied, you will occasionally, not very often, but you will get times like that. And it's something that you deal with in real world, so it's not a big deal. But I was watching one video of a farmer with a telegraph pole in the middle of his field, and he's mowing the grass, and he's running the mower, the side mower, as close to and around the telegraph pole as he can, and he does it twice just to make sure he doesn't miss any grass. And okay, that tree in real life you might cut down, but then farmers get paid by keeping their land, with foliage. So you not all farmers cut everything down. Should do an headland first, shouldn't I? And common sense would say do a headland or two. And, we'll definitely be doing a headland. We'll be going anti-clockwise doing headland, which is not the way I normally go. I normally go clockwise, but it'll be fine. And the downside to all of this of not having a wheel is you can't relax one arm all the time. There. And there. And 10, quarter past 10 in the morning. I haven't done a live stream this early, or a live stream, apart from last night I did one, which will be coming out a few days. I haven't done a live stream in a while. It's good to do one occasionally. And I did say Farm Sim was going to make a return to the channel at some point. I just didn't know when. And part of, you know what, I don't like that up. I don't need it up. I know my way around the map quite well. I should do. I made the damn thing. The problem is I just can't get into Farm Sim 19. 17 I could turn on right now and boom, I'd be in it. I'd be all over it. But 19, I just can't get into it. I'll have spouts where it's like, yeah, I can do this, and then as you can clearly see, I'm not too bothered about going all the way back, you know. I'll be doing 2 headlands anyway. Ooh, now this is a hill. Is it 3, 2, 3? There, you see? I knew there was one of them that was to for the cruise control to activate it. I just didn't know which one. Gotta relearn all the mappings, and they're default buttons, so they shouldn't be that hard to remember, but apparently they are. As I try to get a cigarette sorted out here. And stop. Actually, I think one headland might be enough, you know. We'll see when we get to the bottom here what I think of the gap to those trees. I misplaced my other lighter. Happens from time to time. Why does the tractor have to come to a complete stop before cruise control will work? And we don't have to do the whole of this field either, and we're not timed or anything. Missions don't work like that in 17. You was timed. Yeah, I think we will do another headland just to be on the safe side. Give us a bit more playroom. But look at that view. Although there isn't non-farmable land, but still a nice view. Oops, we missed a bit. Don't tell the farmer. We didn't claim that we was professional farmers here, you know. Never once did we state in our application that we was good at farming, or that we was had experience. We were all new to this, kind of. It's interesting to see some people that you never would expect doing farming as Farmer Dad, aka what am I on about? Farmer Dad from the Monkey Show pointed out Colonel Failure doing farm sim, and I watched one of his videos they'd done, and I will be watching the rest, needless to say. Interesting concepts they had going on. Of course, by the looks of it, it's unmodded farm sim, which, why not? You know, play unmodded and then play modded. That way you know what you want, what you don't want, rather than delve straight into all the mods straight off the bat. Get to know the base game before you start playing with mods. That's how I started anyway, and I don't have many mods myself. Like people who are doing role plays, they will, if they're doing, one person who did a let's play on this map went with small old equipment, rags to riches kind of series. Unfortunately, there was he had an issue with equipment or the map, one or the other, but it seemed to be the map, and I don't know why. And because of that, he moved to a new map, which I don't blame him. You know, I'd have done the same thing if I was doing a series and hired AI wasn't working. But I don't know. I just clicked on a video, and when I came back, he was having problems with AI, and I don't know if it was a field that he had created or if it was a default field. I didn't pay attention. But the AI would just stop working for no apparent reason. And act like there was something in their way, and there clearly wasn't. Personally, I use Courseplay. Courseplay delivers every time. Oops, we may miss a bit there. It'll be fine. You might notice that bit, but it'll be fine. You ain't gonna complain. Not when we've got like 99% of the field cultivated. And I still need to get the achievement for 10 hectares cultivated. So this goes towards that. Maybe instead of just trying to turn on the dying, I should go a bit further out. See, that was so much easier. As you will have noticed, I've been doing a lot of hunting of late, and it's a game that I find just so relaxing. And with the new 2.0 scoring system that they've come out with, changes the game altogether. Some people say not for the best, other people think it is for the best. I personally think it's for the best, because now weapons, they're more down to your personal kind of, what weapon do you want to use, rather than you can only use this weapon on them kind of that class or those specific classes. Get my words out in a minute. They've completely changed that. They've rectified that, and now the 243, which was like class 1 and 2 originally, can be used on a lot more animals, and they've reclassed the animals. It used to be only 4 classes: class 1, 2, 3 and 4. Class 1 being like I think rabbits and foxes. Class 2 was roe deer and small deer like that, probably the buck, the black buck and other small deer, and then class 3 was fallow deer and I think red deer were class 4, and bison, lions and other big animals like that were class. Are we stuck? We're stuck. Why did we get stuck? We bogged down. And class 4 was bison, big animals like bison, Cape buffalo, lions. So it's nice to see that now with 9 classes of animals, and it means that they can put more animals in and spread them across the classes and not have to worry so much. Turkeys most likely will make an appearance at some point in the near future. By the sounds of the devs, they've hinted that that will possibly be something by saying that would be nice. So they are considering it, clearly. Personally, I'd like a DLC pack that adds more animals to all of the maps, like rabbits to the Hirschfelden, not so much badgers. I mean, you could put badgers in, I guess, but pheasants to Hirschfelden, seeing it's a European map. And obviously you do pheasant hunting in America as well. But it'd be nice to have more species across the whole of the maps, not just Hirschfelden. And Hirschfelden is, I would say, one of the best looking maps so far. But it doesn't mean that Leighton or Parc Fermé are bad. I mean, I like both of those maps, and I've got a ton of need zones on Lakeview, Leighton Lake, sorry, Lakeview, where that one come from. Maybe that's another map that they'll release at some point. As I get a, what's that? Why am I getting messages from Google? I don't care about Google and the news. I don't watch the news, so why should I read it as well? But of course, if I'd used Courseplay, I'd have just left him to it and gone off and been doing something else. But I'm being nice, showing you some actual farming, and, you know, going up and down the field as straight as possible, trying not to miss anything out, in which we're doing a decent job, although we nearly did miss some out. And I think eventually what we'll end up doing is yeah, we missed some out. It's fine. What we'll eventually do is have square bales for hay bales, and round bales will be silage, and maybe straw bales. Not sure just yet. That's something that we also need to buy. We need to buy a sprayer with crop protection. For crop protection rather, because the spreaders don't allow you to do any crop protection. They're fertilizing only. And our aim will be to have a dairy farm eventually. There are no plans to make any changes to this map. This map is as is now. Unless there's a fault found somewhere, it will be a fix. Nothing, no tree being moved to the other side of the map, for example. It would just be a simple fix and done. And I know Stardog from the Monkey Show and Farmer Dad have been playing this map, and Stardog had pointed out a few things that have been fixed, and Farmer Dad's only just got back into farming, so after a much needed break. And so he'll point out any problems that he comes across at some point, if he comes across any there is. But if we was playing the old Maypole right now, this field would have been done, and we wouldn't have burnt as much money as what we're going to earn, which isn't much anyway, but we ain't going to complain about that. I can't believe that we're in March already. You know, time's going by. You think January went really slow. That was a slow month. February went kind of slow. I guess, you know, the extra day in February being a leap year and all. But it went kind of slow. Not as slow as January. And then we come into March and we're like on the 4th already. This month seems like it's going to go quite quick. And then next month is 2 birthdays coming up, and so we got a lot going on for next month. We being myself and my girlfriend, of course. And I haven't pointed it out, but as you can see in the distance, all the forestry trees, all the spruce trees, and there are pine trees amongst some of them. They've been spread around. You don't get these thick forests like you used to, although there are places where you will get them. It's not like it was, and which I know put quite a few people off the map. But it is what it is, and I like to use trees as decoration because, well, you know, in the real world, trees are everywhere. And this map was kind of based on a real area, and where this map was focused around was a heavily wooded area. A lot of trees around, fields and that. How much of a gap between the fields and the forestry area was a different story, but it was a heavily wooded area. I love small fields with wooded areas. Or wooded areas between fields, rather. But now I've been a bit more kinder and took down a lot of trees that once bordered the field edge, and given you more room to play with as a player. And I never had problems with course play before, because I always used to do 2 or 3 headlands, and then I would I'd be fine. The only one that I've had problems with in the past was Combine. Combine seemed to me need a lot more space than they did in 17. They back up a bit further than intended. Now I don't know if that's because they've rewrote the coding for course play, and they needed to tweak the Combine scripts a bit more. I don't know if there is a Combine script. I don't even know if that exists. I'm going to do the whole field even though I don't need to, by the way, just an FYI. But that's the only one I've had problems with. It would back up, and even though it had plenty of room to get going and to the next line, it carried on backing up, and it would back into a tree and then get stuck. And I know Courseplay has the habit of figuring its way out, and it can sometimes do that, but for some reason the Combine didn't, and it just stayed there backing up, and so I'd have to jump over, get on its next course, and which was basically stop it, change to going forward, and then move it forward a little bit, and off it went again, perfect, no problems. And then a few rows later it might do the same, but that wasn't the reason why a lot of trees was removed either. A lot of trees was removed because I wanted to not make it feel like it was predominantly forest, and also open up some of the distance that you could see from another field like this one straight over the back there, and things like that. But at the same time I didn't want to take too many of the trees away because I wanted to keep it looking natural. So there was a fine line to it. And of course, as soon as where are we going? As soon as we complete this mission, this equipment will disappear, and that'll be that. But at least we got the field basically finished without Courseplay. How about that? See, I can farm. Well, Case 380, it was nice knowing you. Autosave. Wrong one. Missions is over here, and we will collect our money, and done. Bye bye. And then we will go and start mowing with our case here. In fact, do we want to start mowing at the moment? Weather. Well, we've got no rain coming in for a while. We could mow today, and we've got a good growing spell coming up, so we may be able to get some hay bales going, and then start prepping the fields ready for silage or more hay. Which means that we'd be losing money for the first year or two, but until we get a good production of wool going, if we go down that route straight off the bat. Or should we just do some silage so we can make some money and hopefully decisions. Let's back this up a bit. And go from there. And put that one down. And off we go. Good times. And anyone who has been paying any attention will know that fences, or gates rather, a lot of them have been moved or removed. That's because it didn't make sense as to why I would keep them as they were. And well, do a couple of headlands, I think, just to give us a bit of room just to swing our tractor around. Feels weird to be back on Farm Sim. You know, when you get used to playing one game, and that's how it is right now. So used to playing hunting, although I will be doing hunting again later on, just continue the search for more need zones. And funny enough, it's a game that I thought I'd never ever get into, but yeah. How wrong was I? Hey David. Looks like a good game anyway, more info on it. Yeah, that's true. How are you anyway? In fact, let's go to Discord and jump into Discord, like so. And the delay isn't as bad. Perfect. Was talking about you actually saying, you know, how you've just got back into Farm Sim recently. It's easy to burn yourself out on a game, that's the thing. And we both know how many hours you put into Farm Sim 15 and 17. 17 more so. And I know you put a lot of hours into 15 as well. But we've got the extended period now. Just starting up the computer. There we go. It's good to hear though. Just hope our computers can't catch this coronavirus, huh? That'd be a major letdown. There we go.
Muted one and have that. I'm surprised to see you playing that this morning.
I know. I did say to the girlfriend though, when I get home I'm going to do a live stream.
But, yeah, no, it's definitely, I suppose, burnt out. It's enjoyable to get back to it again.
Yeah. And, you know, sometimes watching another person, like, who don't normally playing it, like Colonel Failure.
Yeah, I mean, he's just, not that I could play it his way, but he makes you laugh doing it.
Yeah.
That's actually very funny. I mean, he's some games he plays seriously, but when he does play it like that, it's just funny, and to make you want to play it.
got updates on Steam.
Yeah. What do you call it? Farm Manager has an update.
Oh, okay. There was no updates when I opened Steam.
Update. It's sound fixes. No. Sound fixes is obviously, that's for ATS. It's obviously trying to sort out the new sound in ATS.
Mm-hmm.
Removed unrealistic phrases from English Dog navigation. Yeah, like usually that's, well, it updates regularly enough, that mod anyway, but like there was one yesterday and again today. Yesterday was all soap, so it's
Oh, it's a mod.
yeah, sound fixes. It's for ATS and ETS. But with the new, in ATS now they have what's it called, the F mod, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
They've changed the sound, the way the sound works.
Yeah.
So all the sound mods need a serious update.
Why do I have a message at the bottom saying no course loaded? I'm not using Courseplay. I'd seen the mods folder, but it's not. I'm not using it.
No, that just is there now all the time
Oh, okay.
because you have it installed. It's there if you need it, but because that just seems to show up all the time.
Okay.
So yeah, Farm Manager and Escape to Pacific, which is as bad as. It's as bad as Space Engineers. When it does an update, and then for the following week does loads of small updates to fixes.
Wreckfest can be like that as well now.
Yeah, but this tends to
Take a while.
it's all like freaking 2 and 3 megabits. Like little updates fixing. They do one update kind of once. Is it once a week or once a month, and then they update it as it's. Well, in fairness, no, because it's still early access.
Mm-hmm.
They're still developing the game, so usually it's when they do a new features. Then they fix it during the week.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, yeah, it's on. It's early access, like, so when they do add extra stuff to it, there's going to be problems. It's beta testing, like.
Yeah.
Farm Manager, but that doesn't seem to have anything. Frontier change.
I may as well mow the cow pasture as well, even seeing now I don't have any cows. So get this field done and move over to that one.
So that's
So have they changed its header now so it will give a better chance of growing grass, or is it still just leave it and
Are you
hope?
on seasons, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't played with seasons. I did try with seasons, and then it's like, yeah, I'm bored.
Mm-hmm.
So I took seasons out.
Yeah.
I like seasons. I like the deer seasons, but not when you're trying to get back into it.
Mm-hmm. I've contemplated on getting a farm sim server again. Just a 6 slot, £5 a month.
Right. Who's that with?
Very games.
Alright, try... I use Crowd, or German Crowd Nitro.
Mhm.
I don't know about Farm Sim, but they do, because I have a 4-person Minecraft server that's like €4 a month. €4 a month.
Oh, okay.
So it depends. No, it would depend what did Farm Sim would come under. I never looked at Farm Sim,
Mhm.
but like Minecraft is €4 a month because I have one for me and the kids.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to get everyone to frickin' having it on the computer and then having to have the game running even if I didn't want to play it.
Mhm. They can just play when.
So now it's there, and like I suggest it's actually, I think I got 3 months of it last time, so
Yeah.
it's like €11 for 3 months. You get €1 off for 3 months.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, get over that.
Yeah. That's what I used to do with the farm sim server. 17, whatever amount of slots was the amount. High 16, wasn't it? And I'd pay 3-month subscription. But be nice to have farm sim Sundays back.
Yeah. I'd have to see what mods we want then, or go vanilla.
Uh-huh.
Because that's what I done with Minecraft, and then just went vanilla.
Mhm.
And then, well, like it's a vanilla servers, but all the hassle we had with,
BPs.
yeah, so went vanilla, and then we run there's map mod that you can run on
Yeah.
your side.
Yep.
I have a map mod, a thing that tells you what the horses are, like what their stats are.
Mhm.
And I think I have a zoom mod because there isn't a Optifine version.
Mhm.
Like Optifine is fine, don't really need it, but the zoom function is nice.
Yeah.
So, and like there's actually 2 map ones. There's one mini map and then there's one world map.
Mhm.
They're the same person makes it. So they're because I did go through the whole thing of trying to survive off of trying to survive off of the in-game maps,
Yeah.
which was fun, but I got bored of that.
Mhm.
Because like you ended up like, especially when you're playing unmodded, you don't have tons of you don't have tons of space.
Yeah.
So when you're carrying around like 3, 4, 5, 6 maps with you at a time to work out where you're going,
Mhm.
you suddenly end up with you suddenly end up with very full
Inventory. Yeah. Especially if you haven't got something like a backpack modding or anything.
Yeah, and I haven't been to the end to get shulker boxes or anything like that, so
Mhm.
it's basically, although donkeys, best things ever, donkeys. Well, you can put a chest on them and then ride them as a horse. They're not very fast, but it gives you another 15 slots, I think.
Mhm.
And if you use llamas properly, you can, similarly, if you lead one llama, you can get 9 others to follow it, and they
Oh,
carry anything
different.
between 3 and 15 slots each.
Yeah.
But I never got that far to get that many llamas going.
I just want to make some hay bales and start getting sheep going. And then make silage bales for the rest of the year to sell at winter. And then I think spring is when you sell the wool that you've produced.
Yeah, see, because I'm just doing missions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you're doing seasons, it's you get bored very fast doing missions.
Mm-hmm.
What mods are you using then?
It's mostly storage buildings and that.
You're not running any script mods?
The only script mod that I've got apart from seasons would be cosplay.
Alright, I have one. No, it's...
and the display for the seasons display.
Is there a mod for seasons display?
Yeah, although...
What does it do?
Puts at the top of your screen the info, but it doesn't seem to be working. So...
I was just going to say, I don't see anything.
Yeah, it's got in brackets 0 and then GEO, but I haven't got a GEO, I've just run in normal seasons.
Yeah, I have one that does animal things. It has like the animals at the side of the screen, and then if there's an issue with it, pops up and tells you what's wrong with them. I have one that's a realistic vehicles is supposed to make realistic. No, it works, but one of the missions I'm doing at the moment is potatoes.
Yeah.
And so there's only one in-game potato harvester, well, self-drive potato harvester.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the mod works is it takes into account what wheels you have.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have narrow wheels on a dirt field, you tend to sink in more.
Yeah.
Well, the self-drive potato harvester has narrow front wheels. And tracks on the back, which should theoretically give you better grip, but they don't seem to. And then the front wheels just dig into the affected ground as soon as you start going up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, they... I guess the only way of doing that is separating the harvester for the modders. I mean, separating the harvester for the potato harvester and telling it to negate the front wheels on it.
Yeah, see, well, with the beet harvester, it tends to shake around a bit, but that's kind of, you get over that. Mm-hmm. But it's actually good because it's a nice mod when it works, in that if you're trying to drive a tractor with a full trailer, like, 40,000 litres in it.
Yeah.
So like you'd have drive. Are you using drive thingy? Yeah, you are with your gears, so with your front and back, and yeah. So if you're going up a hill, you have a thing comes up on the screen with engine power, which you wouldn't worry about, but there's wheel spin.
Mm-hmm.
And if your wheel spin gets too high, you'll literally sink into the ground. Which is what's happening to the potato harvester, like.
Mm-hmm.
But and I think I had trouble with the tractor mod as well, but it's obviously whatever way the it reads the wheels, like. But yeah, if you're in an in-game tractor, like trying to pull it up a hill, it basically you have to manage your four-wheel drive and your diff locks and all that to try and get it up the hill without sinking in. So it's kind of a version of what was that called? MR, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll actually sink you down into, like, it'll sink you to the rims in the ground.
Ooh.
And it'll do any of your wheels, like, so you could end up with one wheel sunk into the ground and the opposite corner sticking up in the air. and then you have to try and get yourself out of it. Although I do have the tow bear mod, which haven't used yet, but theoretically that should work.
Mm-hmm.
But of course the potato harvester didn't have anything to put it onto, and then I tried hiring a worker to do it, and then push it with the tractor, but that didn't work either, because as soon as you pressed harvest and when it was stuck, or hire a worker, and then you get out, by the time you get into your tractor behind it, the worker's gone, I'm done.
Right.
If I put it on course play or something, they probably would have done a better job, but I wasn't setting it up for course play.
So now just gotta wait for that to dry. And from 9:12 and 3 o'clock, so from 9 till 3 it should start drying. So
I have a mod as well. I haven't actually used it because I haven't used cows yet, like, but the cows only produce milk at, I think it's 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening.
No, it's not going to be Nate's masculinus then. There. Moisture, 8% moisture. So hopefully that will dry quite quickly then. Still 8% moisture. And then we got a few more dry days coming. Let it resync back up now. %, moisture and 19. I'm thinking that you do have to use the tedder. Because it would make sense, otherwise what's the point in having a tedder? I know when Seasons first came out, there was...
Well, if you look in the info, is there a page on it in the info? Did they add stuff into the info in the game?
What info?
Go onto your escape menu.
Oh, the button.
And
there.
then click on the... No, not in the Seasons menu.
Yeah, I'm on there.
I'm behind you, yeah.
Yeah, grass and hay. Use tedder to turn grass around so it can dry properly.
Or is it... is there any Seasons thing in there? I'm not sure if they added it.
Forestry production recap. Sugarcane making money. Shop. Mask. Grab items. Tension bar. AI helper. Mods. Seasons. Your activities time to time of year. Weather is random. Weather forecast, soil, crop info, yields, grass, hay. Swaths of piles of grass will begin to reduce in size and will eventually disappear after several days. Grass swaths and piles are reduced at midnight every day. Hay and straw swaths and piles are reduced after being exposed to rain. Straw and hay must be placed before it can be sold. Loose straw and hay cannot be sold, only given away for free. Grass bales or loose grass cannot be sold either. Animal production, ask nothing about whether you should use a cultivator, but I will have to take a bit of a loan and get a tedder and see. And lease it in. Because it's had a whole day of drying and it's only dried by 1%. So it makes sense that you'd use a tedder. Because I know when the mod first came out, Farmer Klein did a video where he raked the grass but left it in piles and the grass dried without the use of a tedder.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that kind of negates the need of a tedder. And
yeah, because in real life, it would be like fucking you tedded fucking
quite a few times.
a few times, yeah. Oh, if you're living in fucking 40 degrees, I suppose, then then if you're living in that higher temperatures, your grass wouldn't grow anyway.
And even if it did, it would be dead once the rain had stopped and the heat had come back. It'd dry all the moisture out of the grass. So then you'd end up with yellow grass. Hence the reason why most games think that the grass in America is yellow.
Yeah.
But of course, like everything in life, it adapts to the climate. What mods are you using other than the ones that you pointed out?
All listed them, you know me and mods. Course play, guidance steering, enhanced vehicle, a Unimog, which is actually the original 2013 Unimog updated by, was it whatever that team was? Grammatic, I think that's the Cedar, just like Cedars and like different smaller equipment sometimes.
Yeah.
Automatic unload for wrappers, Bailey trailer.
Let's get a bit more sun.
I just want to know, collect straw missions.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
It's on Mod Hub, that one. CC Sin Pack, Cultivator Field Creation, that's another good one. You can create your fields with a cultivator instead of having to plough them up.
See now the grass has changed colour.
It has changed colour, is it?
Yeah, as I'm telling it.
But is it actually... It's not quite hay yet though, is it?
No, it has to go like yellow, doesn't it, for hay?
Yeah. The disabled camera, egg pallet. Yeah, it's just kind of vehicles. Follow me. You don't use Follow Me, do you?
No. I think I've got it, I just don't use it. But I've removed it now.
Full stop, that's another handy one. It stops you when you're full.
Mm-hmm.
Global company.
That one I
That's-
presume would work really well with the round baler, the full stop.
I don't know, does it work with the baler? Possibly. I haven't tried it out actually. It works, it's more for the harvester.
Ah,
That you don't have to, like, it literally stops dead.
yeah.
So you're not half concentrating in cruise control, and the next thing you're fucking shooting off across the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, global company add-ons. Have you got any of their stuff? No.
No.
The milking is one of theirs, so you have to have the global company add-on for the milking one to work.
Okay.
Or hand plant saplings. I haven't actually done it yet, but theoretically you can just plant individual saplings.
Okay.
So you can just plant a tree here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's just kind of lime extension. That was lime extension and lime to auger wagons. I think one. I don't remember what that does now. But one means that you can carry lime in the auger wagons. Yeah, and then the lime add-on adds lime, so you can put lime in any of the manure spreaders and use them.
Ah, that might be a good one.
But the two of them together are handy in that you can use your big auger wagon then to carry, and you can use that then to fill up your implement instead of fucking dealing with pallets, because pallets are fucking
A nightmare.
But they don't go anywhere, like.
Mm-hmm.
I have the measure mod. I haven't actually used it yet in 19, but I know in 17 I did. It's handy if you're cutting up logs.
Yeah. I think I've got that one. I did have that one.
The real clock. I had a discussion with one of the kids the other day. He was like, it's whatever time. And I says, no, that's the real time. That's the game time. But that's handy to have up in the top corner of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
A real dirt colour. That's only kind of
A texture.
yeah. I think it's interesting in that if you're doing lime, your vehicle goes white.
Mm.
If you're ploughing, it goes brown. If you're cutting grass, it goes green.
Yeah.
Or sea bales, there's one for you.
Sea bales.
Yeah, so what it does is it fucking puts the bales on your PDF.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen
and
that one.
they're all different colours depending on what they are.
Yeah.
So green for grass, pink for silage, orange or yellow for straw.
Mm-hmm. So you don't lose any.
You can see them on your mini map.
Yeah.
And then if you go onto your main map, like your escape menu map, then you have to zoom into a certain level to see them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, you'd see them if they've, especially if you're supposed to be round bales. I was doing square bales and they showed up with square icons. I don't know if they'd show us different if they were round bales.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so if you're missing bales stuck in hedges or whatnot.
Or a bale suddenly flings off into the oblivion. You
Yeah.
might be able to find it.
Tip side HUD, it's a simple one, but it just shows you, it has a little icon on the screen as to which side you're tipping to.
Mm-hmm.
Tow bar if you get stuck. A wheelbarrow mod.
Wheelbarrow mod.
Yeah, so you get a wheelbarrow. I haven't actually used it, but it's under miscellaneous vehicles, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's got like is it 150 litres? It's got like a couple. It's not very much. It doesn't carry very much, like.
Yeah.
And it costs you fucking 500 quid or something, if even that much.
But you can stick your eggs in there and run them down to the store if it's nearby.
No, fucking wheat and shit.
I know, but I mean, if you wanted to, you could throw the egg cases, egg boxes in and...
I don't know, because I don't know how good it would be for keeping stuff in it.
Mm. Okay.
Like it's tiny, you probably only get a couple of boxes in.
Mhm.
But it's for small amounts of like wheat and shit for your chickens.
Yeah.
And then multi-missions. So that's it, the rest of them are all just freaking info messenger HUD. I think that's the one for the animals. But yeah, so basically just freaking a few vehicles. They're different than the norm, like.
Mhm.
So nothing too major.
Yeah. So there's definitely mods that would bring a lot more to
Yeah, as I
multiplayer.
said, that realistic one. No, there is one of them, alright, if I remember rightly, wasn't multiplayer.
Mhm.
But like I think that realistic one, apart from the potatoes, but like it's actually interesting when you're trying to bring a big trailer of wheat, like you're just saying a big trailer like up a field.
Yeah.
And then the tow bear one then as well, especially in multiplayer, you can get somebody to pull you up. Or you could have the two tractors going up the field, one pulling the other one, which is what happens in real life. Like.
Mhm. So does that take into account dual wheels then as well?
Yeah, so it's supposed to take into account. It's got. It's kind of only got four. I think it's got road, narrow, normal, and doubles. I think.
Okay.
So theoretically, if you have doubles, yeah, you shouldn't sink.
Mhm.
If you have narrows, you will.
Yeah.
And theoretically, you should only be, like with narrows, you shouldn't be doing anything heavy.
Mhm.
But I said, yeah, just the potato one didn't work with it.
Yeah.
And the sugar beet harvester tends to wobble around an awful amount.
Mhm. So later this month, looking to gain a server up. And then, because I know Stardog said they'd like to do some farming with us as well. And Sundays kind of suits everybody.
Yeah, although I think for multiplayer, seasons is kind of a bit of a.
Yeah, no, seasons wouldn't be in there. It would just be probably that one way to the cow mod one or the animal mod one.
What one is that?
The one that for milk production.
Oh, yeah, twice a day, yeah.
Hmm. That one, and obviously, as you said, the tow bar mod, because you can guarantee somebody will get stuck. Like
Yeah.
armour tipping over.
Well, if you tip over, you just get a fucking front loader.
Or getting stuck on an edge, like Moondog.
Yeah.
And I guess go back to how it used to be rather than, go from a map to map kind of thing.
Just pick a map, like, and
That's what I mean. And then play on it for whatever period of time and then go to a different map. And go through different maps. Find maps that we didn't necessarily think would be. As long as they haven't got fucking huge fields, I ain't too fussed. Like the aggro.
say that again.
As long as they haven't got big fields like aggro.
Yeah.
And they're okay when there's a group of you, but when there's only one or two of you on there, it can be a nightmare.
Actually, the map I have now at the moment is. Yeah, I did change off Maypole.
Mhm.
Um, Twitter.
I know there's a new map that's come out recently that somebody done a video on, a French map or something.
That's probably the one I'm playing. Actually, I'd say
It's got two versions, seasons and non-seasons. The
that's the one I'm
non-seasons,
playing. Yeah,
yeah,
and
it
that's
allows you to do
actually
cheese and
yeah. I
flour.
have that one, but the map, the fields are all they're big enough,
Hmm.
but not too big.
Yeah.
And it's actually nice. It's small, um, small, narrow enough. You know, some of the roads are 2 lane, but like there's a lot of tracks then
Yeah.
through the fields.
Hmm.
It's yeah, no, it's actually a nice map.
I know the guys doing it.
It's kind of hard to find where you're going at first because La Cornelia or
Mhm.
Cornella. It's kind of, yeah, I suppose it's, you know, from doing PDAs yourself, like it's hard to look at it sometimes to
Mhm.
work out where you're going on the map, but once you've kind of driven around it a bit, it's easy enough.
Yeah.
And then there's a load of different sell points and different bits and pieces, but even the farmyard you start off with has like chickens, and then you have to buy another bit of land to get your cows and another bit to get your sheep.
Mhm.
Right, I'll be back there in a minute.
Yep. But yeah, maybe we'll get a server running, and you guys will do some live streams or something on a Sunday, and you guys will be able to see what we're up to, and go from map to map, do a month or whatever on a map, and or a couple of months like we used to, and or have it so we set ourselves a goal of we have to earn X amount on a map in before we can move to another. And because of being multiplayer, we'd stay away from seasons, because as David said, it would, well, basically it'll get boring. Because you got so much downtime. And then you'd have to have a fast forward mod in your mod in the mods folder, and we know how that can ruin a game and be abused to get things going. And so we got plenty of time before we get a server up and running to find a map that we want to try and get the mods sorted out that we want in.
Did you put me down to go to sleep, or did I put myself down?
You put yourself down there. You said I'll be back in a minute, and then I just heard the beep.
Alright, I must have accidentally. Or probably not, I probably did. The mouse was probably over it, and when I put down the headphones, it probably went on top of the mouse. I have to put my headphones around the joystick, which happens to be beside the mouse pad.
Mm-hmm. I was just saying that we've got plenty of time between now and when the server goes up to pick a map and get all the mods sorted that we want on the server.
Yeah, but that's sort of like, I suppose just a few bits and pieces, but like, the vanilla has quite a bit in it. So, you know, it's more script mods, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I do have a few vehicles, but it's generally because I like smaller stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, because that new DLC they're doing, like, is freaking, yeah, it's all big shit. No interest in it.
Mm-hmm. Of course, and then we've got to decide what DLCs we want to activate.
Well, I would say go with whatever people have.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have them all up until now.
Yeah, I've got all of them until this new one comes out, which I will get eventually, not because I need it or want it, but because supporting the giants themselves. But
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if people don't buy it, they won't. Because they have another 2 then coming out, which we have to wait to see what they're going to be doing for that.
yeah.
But yeah, we have another year yet of the game, so.
Mm-hmm. But they need to do something really spectacular in order for me to be convinced.
I would say seasons probably would be in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then how much of seasons will be in? Because obviously they'll dial it down to suit the players and console players.
I think they need to. It depends, like, if they want to. What do you call it? It depends if they want to appeal to all the, like, PlayStation people and that, or whether they want to appeal to the people who want it more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Or both, and have lots of toggleable stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know animals aren't going to die, so I guess they'd keep the animals as they are in vanilla. If they don't have straw, then they can't produce manure.
I don't see why they couldn't have, like, crop destruction.
Well, that's already in it, though, isn't it?
No, but as in, like, crop destruction. Do you want crop destruction on? Yes. No.
Yeah.
Do you want animals to be able to die? Yes. No.
Mm-hmm. But I presume if they do seasons, then things like wheat, not wheat, but grass, where it takes time to dry, would become a thing. And
yeah, see, and I get with seasons, yeah, but I mean, I'd be quite happy enough if they just said, well, you like have it that you have to tend it, and have, like with seasons now, where you have the halfway dry grass.
Yeah.
So, like we said, depending on your thing, so if it's hot, you tend it once. If it's not, you may need to tend it a second time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fairly straightforward to do.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, that they have they want to have it kind of with normal, like for normal people that just want to play it, and then people who want to play it more realistic. I mean, you'll always want the people that just want a fucking 50-foot wide fucking harvester head so they can harvest a big fuck off field. Instead of, well, get a smaller harvester on a small field and you get it done just as fast.
Yep. And there's one mod that we wouldn't need in multiplayer other than seasons is like cosplay. We wouldn't really need it.
No.
And we only...
It does. I don't know, does it work in cosplay? It did in 17 to an extent, yeah, but
we,
I mean, I think the likes of Follow Me alright because it's handy to bring an extra implement with you. But yeah, cosplay, that you shouldn't need.
Yeah, and obviously the that other mod where you can go in a straight line.
Oh, GPS.
That's the one.
Well, that's always a handy one to have. And they actually have it now so that you can just set your direction instead of having to do your A to B line. Now you can just pick a direction, which means you can just set it up.
There we go, all tedded.
So that's only grass now, it's still dry grass.
It's 50-50 I would say, yeah, probably 50-50. I haven't got nays in the field, that's the field. 48%, whatever that is, I presume that means it's 48% dry, 7% wet. But it's still grass. But we will see when we fast forwarded time whether it comes up and says, you know, it changes colour or if it needs tedding again. And then we can go out there and rake it and bale it and start the process all over again, fertilising the grass, the fields. And it's raining, lovely.
So it's all wet again.
So it's all wet again.
Actually, the only time I've had rain in Farm Sim is when I've had seasons on.
9% wet now. Lovely.
It just makes silage out of it.
But it didn't say anything in the weather forecast that there's rain coming. So, if by I'll just do silage. I think if you want to do hay, you need longer days per season.
Yeah.
And the grass is growing back as well.
Or did you go on to a new day, did you?
Yeah.
A new period, yeah. Did you not lose what you had then? Or some of what you had?
Probably lost some. But I'm not too worried about that. More testing hay, trying to figure out hay in seasons more than anything. I think the only real thing that seasons adds at the moment is the fact that you need, if you've got a lot of livestock, then you need a lot of fields. If you're
Well,
playing vanilla,
yes.
then you don't really need that many fields.
Well, yeah, but even if you're playing seasons, you can buy stuff in. Like, you can buy straw and grass and stuff.
Hmm. I still think, personally, seasons in 17 was more fun.
How do you mean? What's the difference? I've played with it that much, really.
I guess it's because I know how it works compared to 19, and maybe because I can't really gain to 19 like I could with 17.
Yeah, you've done a fair bit 17 on it, like.
Hmm. Oh, we both did. I mean, you've got a lot of hours in it. But
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I still have a fair bit. 19, but I haven't played it that much. I still think 300 or 400 hours.
hmm awfully windy here. I'll leave that bit. Let's see how Courseplay handles this field. Actually, no, we won't. We'll do it normal. I was going to set Courseplay up and go and make coffee, but
You don't have cars. What field or that field is that?
it's the small one that you start off with field.
Alright.
No, you don't start off with it. It's field 43, just behind the horse pen.
Yeah.
It's only old field 41, 43, and then the cow pasture, which isn't a field, but it's grass. I think Courseplay can be a godsend at times, but it can be your worst nightmare as well. Because it's so easy to go, oh, I'll just let Courseplay do it. And then before you know it, Courseplay's doing everything for you, and then you're just watching.
Yeah, well, it's...
You gotta discipline yourself, I think, with that kind of mod.
Yeah, just we get it to do the field work. I mean, you can get it to do the driving to and from as well, but at times the field work is the boring bit, which I'm happy to just go, yeah, off you go.
Like, if I've got
Do the driving around your map yourself.
if like on FS17, it was imperative that I had Courseplay in the end because I had that many cows and that many fields that I needed to do. So I had Courseplay doing like the mowing, for example, and then I'd go around spraying them while it was after it'd been mowed, and then I'd have Courseplay head them if I was doing hay, or rake them if I was doing silage, and then I'd go around doing the baling. And I'd have Courseplay doing the harvesting, and then go around offloading the harvester and putting it in storage or selling it once the trailer was full. I went a bit too deep there. So all it is 11:45. Jeez.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Time's going slow. And I've been going for like, what, hour and 22 minutes? Something like that.
Yeah, you were 40, nearly 3/4 of an hour before I came on.
112 minutes, apparently. Now that I've looked up. It's the one thing I do miss with the wheel, having the button to push straight away so you can reduce your stopping time.
How do you mean?
Like with the rake, instead of stopping and pulling up the implement because you're looking for the button to push.
Alright, yeah. I should have that in the keyboard. Just set the button in the right place.
Like have it as F. Yeah, it's a B. Whoa. I think one thing that Farm Sim 19 definitely improved on was we don't get that message that stops us in our trek saying that there's something on sale.
Yeah, but does it actually pop up anywhere? Like, or is it just if you go to the shop, you realise stuff is on sale?
I don't know. I haven't played Farm Sim 19 or paid enough attention. I think it pops up in the top or something.
Yes, I don't mind it popping up, but yeah, it's when it stops the whole game, like.
That should have been a tuckable option if there's going to have it like that.
Yeah, but the game doesn't, even if you go into the menu note, the game doesn't stop. Which is handy if you're getting them to do, if you get a course player or hired worker to do stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Or even if you're just on cruise control on GPS and you're on a big field. Go off browsing the menu or
Yeah.
whatever while you're waiting to get to the end of the field.
Or if you're tabbing over to your other monitor to watch a video. I used to just bring up course play and
bring up course play menu, and that gives you the option into.
Yep.
Well, I used to do that in the old one anyway for the GPS, like before I worked out how to get the cursor up within GPS itself. So I can bring up the course play menu, give you the mouse, and you could use that in the GPS menu.
I guess I could just buy hay bales in.
Oh, you're trying to make hay for cows, is it?
For sheep.
Of sheep.
Do silage throughout the year and just use the money off that to buy the hay bales. Because they ain't that much to buy anyway, are they? And silage should sell for more than hay costs to buy. Should.
Yeah, I'd say you'd make more money in the selling it as silage, yeah.
That's that one done. And you don't lose as much grass through the night because of it rotting away.
If you do which?
If you silage it straight away. But I will of course do this field because I definitely need a coffee. Field 41. We want that one. Lane officer, I don't want an officer. Change lane. Well, it automatically selects what field you're on now.
It does?
I don't see an option to select the field. Cool.
You should be able to pull up the map of your course so you'll know if they're in the right field or not.
I don't have a course set yet. Turn on field active, pathfinding, tool horizontal, tool vertical. Field work. Start recording a field. There's This is the new new cosplay. Okay, that can I just load one? Do I have that's mowing, arable? Do I have one for raking? Field 41. That looks fine. Stop at last point active. Where am I going? Turn that off. Drive course. They've definitely changed the cosplay then. That's weird.
They're always updating. A lot of the stuff they do now is just seems to be fixing issues rather than new features.
Right, I'll be back in a sec. Gotta make a drink.
Alright.
Oh, man.
Course place seems to be working alright anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're going in circles, you haven't put it up and down to...
Well, he's going up and down now.
I don't know, did they ever sort the staying on fields or...
But when you just have it going up and down rather
Well,
than...
there was an option in it where you tell it to stay within the field as opposed to turning off the field, which theoretically keeps the vehicle on the field, but I know they had issues with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, is it ever fully implemented?
Probably not.
So, because then type maps you can, like, you should stay within the field, so it wouldn't be driving into trees and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think when he's done on this, I'll leave him doing it. When he's done, I will save and end the stream and go and do some hunting.
Just to say whether I can start something up or not.
There we go. Perfect. So, end the stream now. Bye, stream.
Nice.